Hi guys, Coach Sally here. I just wanted to come on and say I miss you all and can't wait to see you all in the diamond. And Coach Katie's asked me to come on here to kind of explain the DP flex rule that we have in softball. Now, there's lots of ways to think about this, and I'm gonna kind of come at it as a player's perspective instead of a coaching perspective. Just because I think there's more players on this than there are coaches. If there are any coaches, I'm also sending a link to kind of my cheat sheet to Katie, so she's probably going to link it on the email that's going out so that it's more of like direct what you can do and how you can do it. So for the players out there, coaches like myself will use the DP Flex, which is kind of like bat 9 play 9, but we get an extra kind of bonus in it. So that being said, we'll use it for like strategic play, when a lot of coaches will use it during like tournaments, but not a lot of coaches are going to be using it during league play because we want to get everybody in the game as much as possible. This is just a way that if, say, it's really hot and they want to give someone a rest, or for the pitchers that are working really hard and it's a busy weekend, they may use this and effectively use it. So if you are considered what's called a DP, which is the designated player or the flex player, please don't take it to heart. It has nothing to do with you and the way that you play. It's just kind of how we're strategically planning that game. So that being said, the designated player. So I've got a cheat sheet here that I'm going to look at so I make sure I don't forget anything. The designated player in the Softball Canada rule book is on page 132, and basically it is the offensive player. So it is a player that's designated to play offense for the flex player. Now the flex player will play the defensive part, so they'll be out in the field. They just will not bat. So the designated player is going to bat for the flex player. So both players are actually technically in the game, but they're just not on both sides of the game. They're either on the offensive side or on the defensive side, if that makes any sense. Now, that being said, there are some kind of like little rules that we can use in this. Is if you are the designated player, you can actually go on the field for anybody except the flex. Now, the reason for that is someone that's a designated player, I would use someone that's like one of my utility players that's really good in multiple positions so that I can give girls rests throughout the game if it's going to be a long game. The other thing too with the designated player, it's somebody that's usually a really strong batter, right? Most of the time, as you get older, the designated player will be used for the flex player, and usually the flex player is the pitcher because they're working so hard throughout the tournament or throughout the game. So one thing that can happen, and this is the tricky part, is that the designated player and the flex can be out on the diamond in a defensive situation. The only thing that happens is the designated player and the flex player cannot be on the offensive lineup together. So they cannot be batting in the same lineup unless they are substituted out for one another. So it is quite convoluted, and it does go really deep into the rules, and it can get crazy. But what you have to remember is the designated player is our offensive player and our flex player is our defensive player. Okay? So those two work hand in hand. On the lineup card, it'll have all 10 names. The flex will be the 10th name, and the DP will be marked on it. Now, your coach will let you know. So if there is a flex or a designated player situation, the coach will let you know, like, the 10th player is not batting. So then that way you can kind of figure it out and go from there. I personally like to bat all my players. I like to play all my players. I like to give them as much play time as possible. So unless it is mandated by the tournament, then I usually bat all, play all. If it is something where we're going to be in a longer tournament, I may utilize this a little bit more, or if there's injuries, something to that extent. But as you get older, this will get used more. So the younger kids, so anyone U12 and under, this does not usually happen until you get to provincials. So you don't need to worry about this one unless it's designated by the tournament. The biggest thing is just remember that it has nothing or a reflection on you when a coach decides to do that. Everybody has a role in the team, whether it's helping out in the dugout while you are on the flex player and you're telling people when they're up to bat. That's a great way to kind of get involved and stay involved with the offensive side of the game, because at any point the coach could switch that flex out for the designated player. So you could be going into bat at some point. So you want to make sure you're ready to go. If any of you have any questions on this, please let me know. It is quite complex, and I don't want to go too in depth with the players because you guys just need to know, just go out and play your hardest. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask your coach. We're here for you guys. We'll always be here for you guys. And like I said, for the coaches that are watching this, I've sent Katie the cheat sheet that I use quite regularly. Make sure that you are checking with the tournament to figure out what the rule is ahead of time, if it is a bat all tournament or if you can do your DP flex. That's super important to know that ahead of time. So I hope everyone's staying safe. Hopefully the more that we stay home and stay safe, the quicker we can get out onto the field and see everybody playing again. So I miss you all. Can't wait to see everybody back on the field. Any questions, shoot me an email at rmpride06@gmail.com or reach out to Coach Katie and she can give you my cell number if you have questions. All right, guys, take care.